Mariah, I don't fully understand it. I mean, I'm into technology, obviously not like you are, but you write this. You say it's taken away from you, so you're away from all the social media. You're going to be away from it for a month. Is that right?
Yes, it was a month.
Were you told that it would be a month?
Yes, I was. My mother informed me it was going to be 1 month, one solid month of nothing.
When she told you that, what did you think? I'm never going to make it? Or did you think...
Oh my gosh, that is why I threatened and I pulled the card of I'm going to kill myself, because I truly thought I could not live without it. I thought that was going to be the last of me. That was a month too long, and I could not deal with it.
Well, you wrote, and then your mom, and we're going to meet her in a little bit here, but apparently she was going to come into your room, and she would come into your room the first thing every morning, and she was going to read the Bible. She was going to pray with you. How did you feel at the first few days? She reading the Bible and praying. Does that relieve any anxiety, or was that kind of, please go away, Mom, I'm too miserable, I don't want to hear?
Yeah, well, the first few days were really hard for me, and I wouldn't even look at her. I would just pull my blankets over my head, and I would try and block it out, and that was me being stubborn and still trying to isolate myself from that, because at this point I had completely walked away from my faith, and I had nothing to do with it, and I didn't want anything to do with it. And my mom, she kept pushing it, and I broke through that shell, and I have never been so happy in my life after that point. I was finally looking at things a different way, but in the beginning it was so hard. I could not.
Yeah, and you say you were in a state of shock, and I think you mean that literally. I was finally living in reality instead of my fantasy I had created. My mind had finally started to experience being sober after being morphed into something awful. As the days went on, I began to feel God's love for me. I had finally seen a different side to life that I had never seen before. I was happy, but what happened? I had this little fantasy world created in my head, and I didn't want to leave it, and I didn't want my family to take it away from me. I lived in it. I didn't have faith. I didn't have nothing. And then when it got taken away from me, that's when my mind finally realized I'm not living in this fantasy world anymore. I'm in cold, hard reality. And that's when it really hit me, and God took a huge toll in my life and stepped in front of me and said, look, you're going down this wrong path, and I need to turn you around quick before you make a huge mistake. So you need to get a hold on your daughter. She's walking away quick, and I'm going to help you with it. So my mom and my stepdad really helped me get through it, and I've never been better. Well, you say, when my life was controlled by my social media, I felt as if I was locked up in a dark, evil place that I could not escape. Once I was free from social media, God had showed me the positives of life and the freedom it comes with. From that day forward, I have given everything to God. I was blind, and God gave me the power to see. Are you on social media at all now?
No.
Not at all?
No social media whatsoever.
But you're on the computer.
Well, if I'm on the internet, it's looking up where to go for some place or something to do, like an activity, like where can I do this? But I have no social media whatsoever. People at work will say add me on Instagram and Facebook, and I don't have it. Sorry. Nope. I have a phone number, and here it is if you'd like it. But
you were 15 when this sort of all occurred, right? And are you 18 now?
I'm 18 now.
Yeah. Let's play this little soundbite I have. It's Dr. Gregory Jantz. He's a psychologist. He's written the book Hooked, and he reports many things in his book and in the little soundbite, and he says off the soundbite, he says 1 in 13 people in the world is on Facebook. That's in the world, not in America, but 1 in 13 people in the entire world is on Facebook. That doesn't surprise you, I bet, does it?
No, not at all. Yeah. When I had social media, I had thousands of followers, and it felt good to have all those people, wanting to know what you have to say, and it was just, that's what made me feel empowered. It gave me that, I don't know what you'd call it. I mean, not addiction, but in a way it kind of is.
Yeah, it sounds to me.
It was like my fix. That's the word I'm looking for. That's what I needed every single day. From the minute I woke up, from the minute my head hit the pillow at night, I needed my fix from social media.
And when was the last time that you walked down the street and people were actually looking up while they walked and not down at their cell phones? Well, there is a new book. It's called Hooked: The Pitfalls of Media Technology and Social Networking, and it delves into our device-crazed lives. And Greg Jantz is the book's author. I'm so glad to see you here.
Yes.
I feel like I need a personal session with you when it comes comes to this because I left my cell phone behind yesterday and I went into ultimate panic mode.
Oh, it does that to us.
It does that to us. So let's start with our smartphones. We have some video of a woman who's texting on her smartphone and she walks into a fountain.
Oh, yes.
We've seen a lot of this lately. So what has happened to us that we can't be without being in arm's length of our cell phones, our smartphones, our tablets, all of it? What is going on?
Well, it's become connected to us. It's a part of who we are. See, I'm holding mine right now.
Yes, we can't let go.
And I was showing you that I was watching my house before this interview. Here's the thing. We're connected because it's not a cell phone. This is our life. It's our relationships. And sometimes there's a false sense of security that comes through having this and the relationships we believe it represents.
Yes, but we can't detach from it. That seems like the biggest problem.
Listen, 68% of Americans say that if they feel disconnected, they feel empty if they can't get to the device, okay? And some move into more of an anxiety disorder. You were kind of describing a little bit of anxiousness.
I was anxious. So, I mean, a brief personal story. So yesterday I left the office for 30 minutes or so and left my cell phone on my desk here. And the entire time I'm wondering, you know, do I have it? Where is it? I can't find it. Is somebody else going to pick it up? Who's calling me that I'm not catching that call? I mean, it does send you into kind of a tizzy of anxiety when you don't have it nearby.
Exactly, and that's why the 68% of Americans say if I don't have it, I feel anxious. Now, for some, it moves more into more of an anxiety disorder. And we've seen people actually get sweaty palms, feel anxiousness, and they feel depressed because they can't connect.
Mariah, I would suspect that you had an anxiety disorder.
Oh, for sure. That drove me into a panic, and I had nowhere else to turn but throw out the card of killing myself or, you know, giving me my phone back, or I just threatened my parents with every possible card I could because I needed my security blanket.
I think you had one thing, you had lots of things going for you, but I think the biggest thing you had going for you, which a lot of unbelieving young people or people of any age who aren't Christians, you had prayer going for you.
Yeah.
And I think that made a huge difference.
Yeah.
I think that empowered you to get over this need to be empowered by electronics. But I bet you a lot of kids that you were hanging around with could care less about having a Christian influence in their lives, which all the more grateful we need to be for when we have that.
Especially with my friends, there was no spiritual faith, nothing. So it was hard for me to even look at that because I was already driven by the social media, and then to have my friends not even be a part of it, it was like I walked away from it and didn't care about it anymore.
Well, when we get back, we're going to meet Mariah's mom, Angie. We're going to talk to her a little bit about what could she have been thinking when she's seeing her daughter morph into almost a monster because of being addicted to this kind of technology. And again, I know there are all sorts of parents and grandparents listening today. What you're hearing, you can't hardly believe because you have no idea the kind of sort of the entrapment that the world of electronics has over a lot of people today, particularly people or young people like Mariah, but honestly, it's any age. This is not limited to teenagers, young adults. Just about anybody can get addicted to technology, the internet, the things you learn there, and a wonderful ability to communicate electronically. But as I said in my introduction, people are now communicating much more electronically and much, much less face-to-face, which is the downside, of course, of the topic we're talking about.